Hi guys, today we're going to talk about tailoring and how you can make gold with this profession. I'm going to cover it in 3 different sections. The first section I want to talk about is current expansion ways that you can make gold with this profession. Then we're going to get into established markets of tailoring, and then we're going to talk about basically everything else. Okay, so we're going to talk about current expansion ways that you can make gold with tailoring. So we have the armor and cloaks that you can craft with tailoring. You can craft the stage 1, which is the base item, which is the only thing that you can see in your profession. And then you can take upgrade tokens and you can put on top of these staged items and bring them up to higher and higher stages, which brings them up to higher and higher item level, which makes them more and more expensive. So when you have your profession open with TSM, it's only showing you what's profitable for the base item. It doesn't show you stage 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So those markets are kind of hidden. You have to actually go look on the auction house, see if those markets are profitable for you. So make sure you don't miss out on those staged items, especially stage 4. Stage 4 is really good value for your money. They're quite cheap to make. Once you get into stage 5 and stage 6, they get fairly expensive. So you're going to be limiting the amount of people that are going to be able to afford to buy your stuff. But when you're at stage 4, quite cheap, even stage 2 and 3, but stage 4 is just very good value for your money. So you'll find that you'll sell a lot more of that stuff. And then the upgrades, this is what I was talking about here. So you can take these upgrade tokens and you can put them on top of the armor items that we were just talking about up there. Now this hexweave one here is quite cheap to make. The next two quite a bit more expensive. So all you have to do to get to stage 4 is just put 3 of these really cheap ones on any of the armor and it'll bump it right up to stage 4. So those ones are a really, really nice market. So have a look at your upgrade tokens. Check out all 3 of them. If any of them are profitable, definitely make them, sell them on the auction house in the raw form this way. And you can also go ahead and upgrade your armor and get them up to higher and higher stages so you can sell them for more and more profit. The blue armor for tailoring now, this used to be profitable, these items over right here, but not so much anymore. I don't really bother with them unless they are showing really, really high profit. Otherwise, just kind of ignore them, not really worth my time anymore. Now these items here will change the secondary stats on any of the armor, the cloaks and stuff that you're making up here. If you just find you have stats that you don't think people are going to want, especially versatility, for example, with tailoring, a lot of casters don't like versatility. So I usually get rid of anything versatility related when I'm crafting my tailoring stuff. This item right here will help you re-roll your secondary stats to get rid of that versatility stuff so you can sell your crafted armor and cloaks more easily on the auction house if you get rid of unwanted stats. So I like these, I use these a lot. Plus you can also sell them in this form on the auction house as well. And then you have the hexweave bag. Now a lot of people who have the tailoring buildings in their garrisons can get these items here that you see in my bag, the hexweave cloth. So a lot of people who have excess hexweave cloth from their garrison buildings, or if they have multiple alts, are using it to make hexweave bags. It's pretty much a default thing that people are going to. So I find on all the servers that I play on that hexweave bags actually aren't profitable most of the time, and it's not a good use of my hexweave cloth. Making the upgrade tokens, the armors, and the cloaks, I find across all my servers are a better use of my hexweave cloth than these items. So we've got, there's a pet that you can craft. Now, when you look at the pet, it does say bind on pickout, which immediately turns off a lot of people because they assume, well, this is a soulbound item. I don't care about pets. I'm not making it. That's not the case. You just make it and then you learn the pet and then you pull it out of your pet cage. Then you can sell it on the auction house. These items here I find are not too profitable. So what I've been doing with these, I'm not crafting them anymore. So now I'm just going to the auction house. Anytime I find these pets on the auction house, far cheaper than crafting costs, I'm just buying them up and storing them away for Legion, and when Legion comes out, I'm going to resell these pets once the supply dwindles down. Because any of these pets that you can craft from this current expansion, when we get into Legion, the mats used to make all of this stuff from what's going to be considered now an old expansion are going to be more difficult to get your hands on. It's going to be more difficult to make these pets. So stocking up on these, preparing for Legion. People are always going to want battle pets. So don't use your hexweave cloth if they're not profitable. Just skim any cheap ones off the auction house and stock up on those. But don't skip over this market just because it's soulbound, because it's not really soulbound. It's a nice little market. That would be current expansion ways that you can make gold with tailoring. So now it's time to get into the established established markets of tailoring and talk about how we can make gold with this aspect of the profession. So first of all, we'll cover, an important group, no longer available crafts. So there's some crafts in the game that the recipes have been just removed. You can't get them anymore. So if you can make any of these items, if you've been playing the game for a long time and might have access to these recipes, these ones are really, really good for making gold, and you won't have a whole lot of competition for this sort of stuff, just because of the nature of the recipes being removed from the game. Craft It, Malevolent, Dreadful, Contender, all of this stuff, very, very cheap to make, very, very nice profit. You might think, well, geez, who's going to be buying Craft It, Dreadful, Malevolent, and all this PvP gear from last expansion? Well, I've been selling it incredibly well across all of the servers, 3 different servers that I play on. And just keep in mind that all the servers I play on are PvP servers, which I'm sure contributes to this, but don't overlook it just because it's MOP PvP gear. It has been selling extremely well for me. I know a lot of my viewers have been saying that it's been selling really well for them. So just have a look and try it out and see if it's going to work for you on your server. It's very low risk, very low investment. Most of these items are costing 20, 30 gold to make, and you can sell them for a couple hundred gold. So these are some pretty nice markets, so have a look at those. Vicious gear, these markets here are also pretty nice. They don't sell as well as the Malevolent, Dreadful, Contender. They cost a bit more to make. You don't sell them as much, but they have very nice profit on them, so it's a nice balance. Remember, if they're showing us profitable for TSM, just craft one of each one. As it sells, make another one. I don't usually make multiples of these because they naturally cost a bit more. Tailoring shirts, very, very good for making profit. These shirts are very cheap to make. Most of them are, extremely cheap to make, and you can sell them for very nice profit. Keep in mind, when Legion comes, a lot of these shirt prices are going to be picking up. People are going to want to fill out their interface and get all the different shirts that are available. They're just going to want all those slots filled. So if you don't have all of the recipes for the tailoring shirts, I think it would be in your best interest to put a little bit of effort into getting all or most of the recipes. Maybe the purple shirt might be a little difficult to get since that recipe is a rare drop, but a lot of the other ones are quite easy, simple to get. You can buy the recipes from the auction house, you can run to vendors, just pick them up, just very, very easy. And you have the leg armors here. These ones here sell really well. It's not just twink. Some people, when they level, like to have max stats on their gear, like to be top on the damage meter. Sometimes for twinks, there's all kinds of different reasons that people use these old content leg armors. Make sure you're not overlooking these. You've got some tailoring bags. Some tailoring bags are great, some not so great. So the key ones are going to be, nether weave bags are, where most people start out. They're quite cheap to purchase, so you'll sell a lot of netherweave bags. The ember silk bags are a little bit bigger, quite a bit more expensive to make. You can farm the mats for that yourself. So those ember silk bags and netherweave bags should be picking up in Legion, so make sure you have a good supply of mats to make them, and you can even just pre-make the bags if you want to, totally up to you. There's lots of other bags that you can make are profitable. Specialty bags, like ones that hold herbs or different things like that will do well. The gem bags, they do well. So TSM will tell you which of these bags are profitable to make on your server, and just make the ones that are profitable, and ones that are unprofitable, just ignore them until next time when they might be profitable. Okay, so let's talk about the specialty cloth. The specialty cloth is a great way to make gold. So let's talk about the different types of specialty cloth, and then I'll cover some general information after. So moon cloth, this is one that you have to actually go out to a moon well to make. So naturally, a lot of your competitors are not going to be motivated to run out to a moon well every time they need to make something with moon cloth. So a lot of times these markets are overlooked because they're a little bit inconvenient. But to make it more convenient for you is when you go out, just take enough mats with you to make like 20, 50, 100 moon cloth at a time. So you're not having to go out there as frequently, and then you still have the mats to make the things with it that you need to make with, for the next couple weeks. The imbued netherweave and imbued frostweave, very easy to make. Your competitors are going to be making this sort of stuff. You might not be able to sell it at a profit on the auction house in the raw form. You might be able to. If you can, definitely do it. If you cannot, then don't bother posting these raw on the auction house, but you can craft things out of these bolts that are quite profitable. So you definitely have to make these. Whether or not you're going to be selling them raw depends on your server, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So the soul cloth, this is another one. Now, I don't really make a whole lot of stuff with this, and I don't really sell a whole lot of stuff, but every once in a while I'll sell some stuff that has nice profits. Slow turnover, but I definitely don't overlook it. And then the specialty cloth down here, these ones Eternals. So you don't have to be anywhere in particular to make these items, which is nice. So your competitors will naturally be making these, so don't expect to have this market to yourself. yourself because they're quite easy to make. You can sell them in the raw form over here, or you can keep them to craft items out of it with your tailor to sell at a higher price. So totally up to you. And then down here is some more specialty cloth, which uses primals. Now, this is where things get really interesting. You have to go out to very specific places to make these different types of specialty cloth. So the moon cloth, you have to be at a moon well, and then the shadow cloth, you have to be out in Shadow Moon Valley, and the spell cloth, you have to be in Netherstorm to craft that stuff. So because of the nature of how that works, a lot of your competitors aren't going to be bothering with this, or they might just be going out to craft the one or two that they might need and coming back, and eventually they just kind of get sick of it and give up. So like I said before, if you can manage, try to bring enough mats with you when you go out to make this stuff to make 20, 50, 100 of these at a time. So you have a decent stock of it so you don't have to spend as much time running out there to make it, because it does get a bit annoying, but you can overcome that by doing what I just mentioned. So then let's get into, well, what can you make with all these specialty cloth items that we're talking about? So with just moon cloth, you see all the items over here on the right hand side that you can make with moon cloth. So then with the imbued nether weave, now you're going to have a lot of competitors with this because this kind of stuff is easy to make. And then the imbued frost weave, you got this kind of stuff here. Again, very nice profits, but you're going to have more competition in this market because these two types of cloth are easy to make. Soul cloth, you just got these few items here. They do sell once in a while, very slow turnover, but very nice profit. So I definitely don't skip it. And then the Eternals, the specialty cloth that comes from Eternals. Now these ones you can craft these specialty cloth anywhere. So it's an easy market. You're going to have a little bit more competition in this one, but don't avoid it. It's really, really nice, and there's some great things in here that you can make to make profit with. And the primals, the specialty cloth from primals, now this is the good stuff here. This is probably the best stuff of all the different types of specialty cloth because you have to go out to Shadow Moon Valley, Netherstorm, and all that jazz to make that specialty cloth. Now to craft this armor that you see, you don't have to be anywhere specific to make that. You can make that wherever. So I sell a lot of the Frozen Shadow Weave and Spellfire sets, but there's a lot of other really great items you can make here. And if you've got TSM will tell you exactly what's profitable and what you should be making with this specialty cloth. There's a flying carpet here that you can make and sell in the auction house. Very, very cheap to make, sells really, really well. Definitely do not overlook this market. This is a great, great way to make gold. The MLP blue procs, now I don't really bother with this stuff anymore. MLP epics, these ones here are quite expensive to make, so if you're a little bit tight on gold, I wouldn't suggest you getting into this market right away. Wait until you have a little bit more liquid gold that you could handle this kind of a market. But it does sell very well, has some nice profits, so don't overlook it. If you can get into it, get into it. And then you've also got your Kata epics. These ones here are also quite expensive and rely on dream cloth. So dream cloth is something that you can only make once every 7 days. There is a way to bypass the cooldown, which is through chaos orbs. So the only way that you can effectively do this particular group is to constantly be looking at your auction house and grabbing off all the cheap chaos orbs that you can get. The more that you do that, the more you're taking it away from your competitors, the more you keep the market to yourself. So very, very important for you to clamp down on chaos orbs and try to get as many cheap ones as you can for yourself. Vision dust production. So the white bandit mask, you can make the white bandit mask. This recipe for this item is a rare world drop, but you can get it off the auction house for like 200, 300, 400 gold, pretty cheap. You can make these bandit masks and just sell them straight on the auction house in this form, but you can also disenchant thousands and thousands and thousands of them and mass produce vision dust that you can sell on the auction house for crazy profits. Not going to get into those details, but that's basically how that works. And then you've got old world tailoring, which is a third and final group that we said we were going to talk about. So everything else that's in this group is basically anything that we haven't just talked about for established markets, anything that we haven't talked about for current expansion. Everything else that doesn't fit into the first two groups is just basically in that big leftover group. And then I have my TSM set to look at this group, find everything that's over 100 gold profit or 250 gold profit. I change it from time to time and identify everything in here that's good and then just make it. So that's pretty much what I have done for tailoring and how I make gold with tailoring. Hopefully that helps you guys make a little bit more gold, help you learn a little bit more about tailoring, hopefully help you not pass over some markets that you might have been looking over before. Make sure that you try to go through a little bit of effort into getting any of those tailoring recipes that are behind ret walls that you have to run around to vendors to pick up, because if you're just using the default trainer trained recipes, you're missing out on a lot of really good stuff. And all your other competitors who have tailoring are working from the same platform. They have all the same recipes that you have. Just put a bit of effort into. Try to go get some of those recipes. You're really going to notice a huge difference in your profits. And I do have another video that shows you an add-on that will look at your professions, identify all the recipes that you don't have, and tells you exactly where to go to get the recipes that you're missing. So go have a look at that video. I'll probably put it in the description for this one. And good luck with making gold with tailoring. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun with all the gold you're going to make with this one. This is one of my favorite professions of all the different professions right now in the game for making gold. It's served me very, very, very well. All right, have a good day. We'll see you guys next time.